All right, so next, what is the volume of a hemisphere in terms of pi? Well, the equation for volume of a hemisphere is 2/3 pi r cubed. Now we see the radius is 4, so we can plug that in. 2/3 pi times 4 cubed. And if I plug that all in my calculator, now remember when I plug this in my calculator, I'm going to do 4 cubed times 2/3. I'm going to ignore the pi part of this equation, and I get 128 over 3. So my answer is 128 pi over 3. I'm going to stick that pi in here, and we don't know units, so we're just going to say units cubed. So when leaving answers in terms of pi, kind of ignore the pi till the end, do the other calculations, and then stick a pi on your answer. All right. A solid is composed of a right cylinder and a hemisphere as shown. If the density of the solid is 100 kilograms per meter cubed, what is the mass of the solid? All right, well, first thing we have to do here is calculate the volume of this whole thing. So we need to calculate the volume of the hemisphere and the volume of the cylinder. All right, well, to do this, first we want to get the volume. So we need to find the volume of the hemisphere and the volume of the cylinder, right? So the hemisphere and the cylinder. It's kind of a little drawing to help me out. So to get the volume of the hemisphere, we know it's 2/3 pi r cubed. Now we're given the diameter. The diameter is this distance across, so the radius is going to be half of that. So the radius is going to be 1. So the volume of the hemisphere is going to be 2/3 pi times 1 cubed. And I'm going to leave this in terms of pi to start. So 1 cubed is 1. So we have 2/3 pi as our volume of the hemisphere, and that's in meters cubed. Then the volume of the cylinder is the area of the base. So 1 squared pi, radius squared times pi, times the height of this times 3, right? And if we multiply all that together, we get 3 pi. So the volume of this whole thing is going to be the hemisphere plus the volume of the cylinder, which would be 2/3 pi plus 3 pi. So we would get 3 2/3 pi meters cubed, right? That's our total volume for this solid. Now it says, if the density of the solid is 100 kilograms per meter cubed, what is the mass? So density equals mass divided by volume. So we don't know the mass, right? That's what we're looking for, but we know that the density is 100. We don't know mass, and we know that the volume is 3 2/3 pi. Okay, well, to solve this, I'm going to want to multiply both sides by 3 2/3 pi. I get 1,151.92 kilograms as our mass. Great. All right, next one. You guys are going to figure this one out. So if the height of the cylinder is equal to the diameter of the sphere, what is the volume of the space between the sphere and the cylinder? Okay, so first thing, what is going to be the height of this cylinder? All right, well, if the height is equal to the diameter, we see the radius is 12, so the height is going to be twice that, so 24, right? Now, think of a plan. What's your plan for calculating this whole thing? All right, well, your plan should be that you're finding the volume of the cylinder minus the volume of the sphere, right? All right, so calculate that now. All right, well, to get this one, like I said, you want to find the volume of the cylinder minus the volume of the sphere. So for the volume of the cylinder, it's the area of the base, so 12 squared pi, times the height, so times 24, right? Which is about 10,857.34, right? And then we have the volume of the sphere, and we know that equation is 4/3 pi times 12 cubed, which is about 7,238.23, right? Now, we want to take away the sphere from the cylinder, so you should have done 10,857.37 minus 7,238.23, and when you calculate that, you get 3,619.1 centimeters cubed. Great. All right, one last example. Given the surface area of a hemisphere is 12 pi, what is the volume of the hemisphere? All right, so given the surface area of the hemisphere is 12 pi, what is the volume? All right, so we would want to say, we know the surface area is 3 pi r squared. That's the equation for surface area of a hemisphere. So I'm going to say 12 pi equals 3 pi r squared. Right? I need to find r before I can get the volume. So I'm going to divide by pi. That'll get rid of my pi. So now I have 12 equals 3r squared. I can now divide by 3, and I have r squared equals 4. And to get just r, I'd square root that, and I know that the radius is 2, right? So now we can calculate the volume of the hemisphere. Volume of a hemisphere is 2/3 pi r cubed. So volume of the hemisphere is 2/3 times pi times 2 cubed. Okay? That gets me 2/3 times pi times 8, which would be 16/3 pi units cubed. Awesome. Well, be sure to fill out the Google form if you guys have any questions, or email me with questions. Study these formulas, make sure you have them down, and have a good day. Talk to you guys soon.